In this video we're going to look at a easy exercise to help with the straightness on the centre line and to help the straightness in the halts. Now when you're thinking of riding a centre line, you want to make sure your turns at the top and bottom are smooth. There are no right angles in dressage. So as I'm turning onto the centre line, I'm thinking it's like a half 10-metre circle onto the centre line, then looking up to my marker and staring at C and riding forward down the centre line to get the straightness, and then making sure the horse knows which way I'm turning at the end and making it a smooth turn onto the rein that I'm heading onto. So again, we're going to take a smooth turn onto the centre line, and you can see I've got a set of poles that I use for the halts, which will be coming up. So then we go forward, looking at my marker, indicate which way I want to go and make a smooth turn. I see many times people turning off the centre line at the end and having a little wobble with the shoulders. So it's important to prepare your movements. So we're going to do a wobble back this time at the end. So again, smooth turn onto the centre line, riding straight, keeping my hands either side of the neck, that's really important, and riding forward. So I didn't tell him which way to go, and you can see veered slightly to the left before then we turn to the right. So it's really important to prepare that turn, not just think, I'm at the end of the centre line, which way am I going? Because the horse doesn't know, and that's when they're going to lose balance. So another thing to think about when you're on the centre line is try not to overcorrect. So when I said about my hands being either side of the neck, if the horse is falling one way or the other, it's important to keep your hands equal sides of the neck, because if you start moving your hand to one side or the other, then the horse is more likely to veer to the opposite side. So if you're straight and your hands are straight and you're looking at your marker and riding forward, then more than likely your horse will be straighter. So now we're going to look at the halt. So this is where I use the poles. So coming down the centre line, now I'm going to slow the trot down and just walk a few strides forward towards the poles, and then coming into the halt. And you can see he just slightly stepped to the left, but because the pole was there, it just kept him straighter. And then just walking a few steps out and asking for the trot. And if you do find that your horse steps sideways in the halt or is not straight, then you can move the poles even closer so that then when they step on the pole, they make their own correction. So it just helps with the balance. So we're going to do it again without tripping on the short side, and then we're going to slow the trot down into the walk, and all about preparing, and then we're going to halt. So you can see his left hind is slightly to the left. Now a lot of people will fiddle with the halts, which is what I'm going to do now to demonstrate. And you can see I'm trying to make him go straight, but he's not. He's just moving even more. So the best thing to do with that is to actually walk forward a few strides and then halt again. Don't fiddle once you're in the halt. Otherwise it could cause problems when you do ask them to halt. They start getting anxious or anticipating that you're going to try and overcorrect them. So less is more. So we're going to come through the poles again, and making sure you prepare for your transition down to the halt. So again, I'm going to slow the trot down and then walking a few steps into the halt, and he's straight in. Because he stood still, he then got a pat, and then we move forward again. And that's just a nice exercise to help with the straightness and the balance into the halts on the centre line.